Hey everyone, I hope you are doing great. Alright, so you guys know I don't like to ramble on too much before I start my videos. This video is going to be my natural hair story and why I big chopped in the first place. I think I briefly mentioned why I big chopped in my last big chop video. I went to uni with natural hair and I believe I came back to London because I had a gig back then. I used to sing a lot and I thought, okay, I'm gonna get my hair done. I think that summer, the summer before I went to uni, I had gotten a weave. It was done really well. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna get a weave again. It was like a 16-inch weave with a fringe in the front. Where I first got my first weave was in Peckham. Now, how I found this hairdresser is just walked along the high street. I had been told about this, so I knew I would find someone. So the first time someone did that, I was really happy with the results. I even took her phone number just in case next time I wanted to get my hair done. I tried to call her when I went back to London, but I think she was busy. I think she wasn't even in the city, or maybe I didn't even call her. I just can't remember. So I just wanted a quick and easy fix right then and there. So I was walking along Peckham High Street and someone hissed at me. And obviously that drew my attention and I tried to suss these people out to see, you know, if they're gonna be good at hair, and there's no way of really knowing because they don't actually walk around with a portfolio. I think the best ad for the services would probably be them having nice hair. So I came across this one lady and she was saying, I can do your hair for you. Of course I wanted my hair done and I said, can you do this? Can you do this style with a fringe? And you know, I've got my 16-inch premium. Now I think I always used to buy Premium Plus, yeah, the yellow packet. I showed it to her and I said, can you do this such and such a style? And I said to her, can I trust you? And you know what she replied? She said, trust in God. Now this woman put all her faith in God for her braiding and weaving ability. The first mistake I made was believing that trusting in her was like trusting in God. That is something that should have never even crossed paths. I just remember asking her and she was like, trust in God. So I thought, okay, I'll trust in God. I'll trust in God that my hair comes out nice, fine. So I go to her little hairdressing place. It was just like a little box room. It could fit about 2 or 3 chairs in it. Quite dark in like a little alleyway. And we go there and she starts doing my hair. Obviously, like, you have to cornrow the hair underneath in order to attach the weave to it. I usually like having mine hair cornrowed straight back if I'm to get a weave, and when I do wigs I usually do a French braid. 5 or 6 French braids is enough, but obviously with weaves you kind of have to sew the thread in, so you need something to kind of hook the thread onto. So you do a cornrow, which is like an inside out French braid. Different people have different cornrowing techniques. So she cornrowed my hair in the shape of a spiral. Now that pulls from every corner. It started here, I think, and it just went round and round and round and round and round and round until you get right to the middle, and then there's just one braid sticking up, and then I think usually they sew it down against the other cornrows in whatever direction. I will never ever do that again. If you can handle the spiral cornrow, that one spiral cornrow for your weaves, fine, but my edges can't handle that. My edges can barely handle a hairband. That was the first problem. The second problem was she put the closure too forward. It was too close to my forehead, so it looked like this big cone, and because of the shape of my head it just didn't look right. I think for some people it can look okay if they have a flat back of the head. So that's how the closure was. It was terrible. The third problem was my fringe. It was kind of short. It was so super weird and super short and super awkward. It didn't feel right at all. It felt like all clumpy in the front and kind of short, and it just didn't feel nice at all. So I did the gig, fine. I was a bit irritated even then, like trying to like adjust my scalp. Obviously it doesn't work to adjust the scalp. You really have to adjust the root problem, the hair. So I went back to uni after that and I just found that my head was just like throbbing and irritated and I was in pain. So I actually bared it for like a week and a half to 2 weeks. Finally it got to the point where there was something on for church. When I got back home I just felt irritated. I felt all my effort was like in vain. I felt physically and emotionally drained. I felt like, what is the point of it? Is this actually making anybody happy? It's not making me happy. Am I doing it to make somebody else happy? All these thoughts were running through my mind. Like I just felt like all the effort that I had put into trying to to look nice with my hair. I just felt like it was all a waste. I really felt like I'm done. So I pulled my hair back and started to snip and cut my hair off from underneath the weave. Literally, I didn't even bother to take the weave off and undo the cane row. I just started cutting. Snip, snip, snip. By the time it came off, there's like a wig and just took the whole thing off. It just looked like a bad haircut, a bad afro haircut. I felt so free. I felt so relieved. I felt like I'd made the right decision. That was symbolic to me of saying no to feeling like I have to do something that I don't really want to. So another reason why I cut my hair that night is because I had to work the next day, and I just thought to myself, either I cut my hair now, go to work tomorrow, or I cancel my shift and I spend the day, you know, trying to unpluck this weave. And so I thought, you know, I'm just gonna cut my hair off. Went to work the next day, walking to work, people just started smiling at me. I remember one particular person, I think it was a woman actually. She just smiled at me. I could tell she, you know, was like almost like appreciating my short hair. Some people approached the issue slowly, like, oh, Tabitha, when did you cut your hair? After like a while of talking to them, because it's not like I'm gonna bring up the issue like, hey guys, I cut my hair, look at my new hairdo. It wasn't like that. That Saturday, I had work, I was enjoying my short hair, enjoying what my scalp truly felt like. That Sunday, we had a class trip to the Netherlands. So obviously, I guess people noticed my short hair. It was not really a big deal. No one really made a big deal out of it, not to my knowledge, at least not. So then I got back, I started experimenting. I think I relaxed it at one point. So I got into that whole look of brushing everything up to the sides, like almost like a Mohican at the top. And that was kind of my signature hairstyle for a while. I went through so many different phases. The redhead phase, I think the first time I dyed my hair, it was red. After that, I got bored of red. Then I tried some kind of honey blonde. I really liked that honey blonde. That was really nice because when it grew out, it had such a natural look to it. And my hair was still strong even while it was that honey blonde. It was really nice. For me anyway, I enjoyed that. And I considered that recently actually. I was like, I'm so bored with my hair, what to do? I want to talk about that at the end of the video though, about what to do, because I've been thinking about cutting my hair. Yeah, because I've been thinking about cutting my hair. So I had the honey blonde, I had so many different hairstyles after that. I even had platinum blonde, like platinum blonde. Okay, maybe, was it white? Or was it like off white? I'm not quite sure. I feel like when I cut my hair, I feel like a lot of people were curious about it because not many people were cutting their hair back then. Everybody was trying to cling onto the little hair they had. So a lot of people found it quite strange but intriguing at the same time. So I did quite get a lot of compliments in the street. They were saying it's so good to see somebody with natural hair. You barely see that these days. Nowadays you see a lot of people with natural hair, but maybe back then a lot of people didn't have natural hair. I don't know, but I was getting congratulated a lot more smiles on the street. I experimented with color, style, just so much. I was even experimental with my fashion sense, and at some point I felt like I was attracting the wrong kind of attention. So that is when I started to tone everything down. I started to get rid of the clothes that were just too crazy. Anytime I would leave the house, I would attract the wrong kind of attention, and it really ground on my gears. It was like by me just trying to be experimental with my style, I was attracting a certain kind of men that I don't like. I decided no more color. I'm gonna start growing my hair out. I'm gonna start just having my natural colored hair. I'm gonna tone down my fashion sense as well. I'm gonna start wearing more neutrals. The minute I step out of the house, I'm attracting these crazy men. Some of them would even hurl insults at me if I don't stop when they're driving past. They would shout at me. That happened on one occasion. And then there was one time when I was being followed in a market to the point where I was just like running around in circles, and that person kept following me. And then at some point I stopped, and then they jumped on the, what are those things where they sell things that on the table, on the selling table, and they just lay there like that. I was just thinking, am I in a movie? The second occasion of somebody following me was on the highway. Was it on the dual carriageway? I don't know, but it was like, you know, where like there's loads and loads of lanes and like loads of cars passed through. Somebody was following me there. I just ran across and they tried to weave in and out of the cars. That was the second time somebody followed me. Another time someone followed me was in the area that I used to live in. They followed me every single day. Some super tall lanky guy following me, asking me, I want to take you to the cinema, I want to take you to the cinema. And the thing is, I told this guy I'm married. I told you I'm married and you're still following me. You are still following me even though I'm a married woman. I found him in town sometimes, and I have another name. It's not my real name, but like that's my kind of decoy name. And so that person used to basically ask me out every single time they saw me. So yeah, I was attracting all the wrong kind of attention. I was like, I need to change my vibes. I need to change it ASAP, right now, this very minute. And that is when I decided to just go dark and start growing my hair and not dyeing it and just turning down my fashion sense a notch. I was happy to have had that time in my life to just experiment, but then I was just like, you know what, this needs to stop, because it was really irritating me that I was attracting the wrong kind of person with all the crazy hair. And I think there's a way to have crazy hair while still looking relatively normal. Recently I had that grey hair when I was in Uganda. How I balanced it was by wearing kind of normal clothes. If you're gonna have crazy hair, wear normal clothes. If you're gonna have normal hair, try and jazz everything up with a key piece, a pop of color or something like that. But to have everything just crazy shoes, crazy clothes, crazy hair, it's like a bit too much. So from then on, I just started having normal simple hairstyles. I would cane row the back, have a little leave out, and glue the extensions along the cornrow just so that it looks quite normal, and just comb everything in. And then in 2014, I felt fed up again. I felt like I was putting too much time into my hair, and I just wanted to put time into other aspects of my life. And so I felt like I just wanted to be me. At that time, I felt so much pressure. I felt so much stress. I just felt like I wanted to strip away, and I thought, you know what, my hair is a great place to start. I phoned up the barbers and I made an appointment. I went there and I had my hair shaved, and I still have that video. So I probably will either insert it or leave a link to it in the description to see where the journey began of this hair. I big chopped on the 6th of March 2014, and I've been growing my hair long ever since. I didn't have any regrets when I big chopped. I just loved every minute. Especially when it was like really short. Then I moved into the boy phase and it started to get a bit awkward, but still okay. That very same day I went to a new gym. I started swimming. I'd always wanted to do swimming. I was like super into fitness and super into health. From then on till now is where I am. 3 years since the last big chop, but of course it's been more years since the very first big chop. I've learned so much. I've been through highs and lows, feeling good about my natural hair, feeling not so good about my natural hair, but all in all appreciating it, and knowing that this is the hair that God gave me, and he didn't make a mistake when he made my hair kinky. Okay guys, it's like I keep remembering things keep coming back to my mind. So another reason why I decided to keep growing my hair ever since the big chop 3 years ago is because I wanted to have kind of long-ish hair for my wedding. I thought maybe I'm gonna get married soon. Kind of tried to cling on to the hope that maybe God will bless me with, you know, my soulmate. It's so interesting how we have these dreams. Now that I'm really like single, I'm thinking maybe I can cut my hair again. What do you think? Like, should I cut my hair? Should I keep growing it and just keep growing it long? Because back then I always thought like, oh, I'd want to have long hair for my wedding, but now I'm just like, do you know what? I can get married in whatever state I get married in, and I'm not like I've never been that person who has this like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have this dreamy, amazing, like fancy wedding. Like, I've never been that kind of person. It's just sometimes these thoughts pop in and out of my head, and I try to consider them, I try to pay attention to them so that I try and make decisions that will benefit me in the long run. But now that I know and I'm pretty comfortable, if I end up meeting someone and then we end up getting married, I think I'd be comfortable with having short hair on my wedding day, bald head, or however, maybe I'd get like a flower crown or something like that. I don't know. This is something I never shared with you, but like I was seriously considering cutting my hair about six or so months ago. I told you that I started to love my hair again. I started to enjoy the process of like taking care of it and stuff. I'm not a wedding fantasizer. I just think at the end of the day, a marriage is about two people coming together. It's not really about what hair you have. It's not about that. So what do you guys think? Should I cut my hair now? I'm pretty open to keeping it, and I'm also open to like completely shaving it off. Anyway, leave your comments in the comment section. What do you think? Should I keep growing my hair, or should I cut it and just do as I please? I always like the short hair look, so I'm really seriously like considering it. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I hope this all made sense to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.